Hello everybody, welcome to chapter 5, Evaluating Art. Now this chapter is going to be a little bit shorter and but nevertheless very important because both of your discussion topic for this week and also your writing assignment will be based off of this chapter. Now, we all have opinions. Doesn't matter what it is in life, even making a decision for lunch is an expression for your opinion. So, same thing with art. So, even artists, when they're creating something, they are making decisions. They are evaluating constantly of how to create that particular work of art. And as an audience and as a viewer, after the artwork is done, as you're looking at it, it is also a way of evaluating art. And our evaluation really is based off our enjoyment of our assessment to the quality of that art. If we think it's good, then we will enjoy it more. If we don't think it's good, then we will enjoy it less. But what we need to realize is that quality is really relative. So, how a work of art is really evaluated varies from person to person and from culture to culture and from age to age. So, everybody has a different opinion. So, that is art criticism, and everybody does art criticism, even when you don't realize it. So, making discriminating judgments, both favorable and unfavorable, is considered art criticism. Now, there are three main types of theories that relates to art criticism, and we will go over that today one by one. The first one is formal theories. So formal theories focuses attention on the composition of the work and how it may have been influenced by earlier work. So what that really means is that critics who use the formal theories, they look very carefully at how the work is made. So how the parts of the composition come together to create a visual experience that may maybe interest us or maybe not. And they really generally believe that the most important influence on a work is other works that the artist has seen or studied. Because of the formal organization of the work is the most important factors of evaluating it, that's why we call it formal theories. Now, contextual theory is the second type of art criticism. So, contextual theories, it is ways where we consider art as a product of a culture and value system. So, what that means is critics who use these theories tends to look at art first with the environmental influence on a work of art, the economic system, maybe the cultural values, and even the politics of that time. And because the context matters the biggest in these theories, they call it contextual theories because they're looking at the context of that artwork. So as a formal theory critics, they will want to know the date of the work maybe. But the contextual critics, they will probably ask the question like, so what else is going on in the culture at the time? So what is happening in the political atmosphere when the artwork is created? So last but not least is expressive theories. So expressive theories, it pays attention to the artist's expression of a personality or world view. So what that means is all artworks are made by people. So doesn't matter skill level, personal contact, emotional state, mindset, their gender, if they're a man or a woman, or the creator, they must play a role in the creative process. So this theory is called expressive theories because of that. So the formal theory critics, they want to know the dates and the facts. And contextual theories, they want to know about the background, the culture. So then expressive theories will be asking questions like, who made this artwork? Who is the artist? Who is this person? And what is their background? So these critics, they favor this approach. They tend to look for very powerful personal meaning or very deep psychological insight or very profound human concern in these artworks. So relating to your assignment this week, we will be writing and evaluating a piece of work from the textbook. So Before you guys dive into it, I just want to touch a little bit about the techniques of evaluating art with words, which is on writing about art. So you can mainly break it down into 3 sections, and each sections are equally important. So first, you want to get the facts. So these includes the title of the work, the name of the artist, the time it was made, the medium that it was made with, the size and location of the work. So what you want to do is you want to get as much facts as you can get with each artwork. Then you want to analyze it. You want to look at the parts of the work and how they work together. So how does the medium work with the rest of the composition? What about the elements? Did they go together? Or how is the use of color? And what does it make you, what does it look like? And think of the context of the work. Think of what is the political background at the time? What is the culture in that period? How does the artist really evaluate this particular work when they're working on it? So how was it received at the time? For example, Vincent van Gogh, his great paintings we consider him masterpieces now, but at the time when he was a painter, nobody wanted it. Everybody thought it was just very, very bad paintings. And lastly, then you can evaluate. So using one of the 3 types of art criticism that we just talked about, the formal theory, contextual theory, and expressive theory, then you want to think about, in context of these 3 theories, how does it make you feel? Does the painting move your feelings? Does it express a particular time period or artist personality? Is the painting innovative? Is the artwork new and creative? These are some of the things that you want to think about as you evaluate this artwork. So these are just some pointers of how you would write your assignment this week. And it will be easier for you to divide them into these 3 sections. You get the facts, talk about the facts, then you analyze it, then you evaluate it. All right, so lastly, we're going to talk about censorship. So you might think, why are we talking about censorship when we were talking about evaluating art? Well, it's because censorship really is the ultimate evaluation of art. Somebody take a look of a painting or an artwork and decides that it is not fit for anybody else's view. And they censor it. So censorship is the alteration or removal of works of art from public view. And this has been happening all throughout the century. So actually, in Europe back in the day, the Emperor Leo III, what he did was he actually ordered everyone to destroy any kind of artwork, sculpture, imagery, iconography of Christ, Mary, and the saints and angels, because he and his party believe that those images really encourages idolatry or worship of the image rather than the divine being. So censorship is not a new thing that is in our culture right now. But what is famous for us is that this particular court case called Miller versus California. And basically the court ruling is that a work may be censored only if it is demonstrably obscene. That is, if the average person applying contemporary community standard finds it obscene, and if the work taken as a whole lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. And this ruling actually protect the artist to be able to make whatever they want. They give the artist a lot of freedom to make artwork. So this brings us to the example of this painting called Holy Virgin Mary, painted in 1996 by artist Chris O'Filly. Now, it was exhibiting in Brooklyn Museum in 1999. And the New York City mayor at that time, Rudolph Giuliani, he actually tried to close the museum because he thought this painting was very offensive. And now looking back, he is really using the formal theories to evaluate this piece of work. He's comparing this painting with the other previous Holy Virgin Mary paintings. Now, if you look at this painting, the imagery of Holy Virgin Mary is very unorthodox, right? Most Holy Virgin Mary are white. They dress in very fancy garbs, and they usually have a halo on their head. But that is not the case with this Holy Virgin Mary. And what is even more is that this particular painting actually has elephant dung hung on top of it. So to Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, it's a great disgrace to the religion. So he tries to close it down. Now, what is interesting is that the artists in the museum, they use contextual theories and expressive theories to make an argument. So as far as context is concerned, they argue that elephant dung is actually an art medium in a lot of African cultures. So because of that context, because Chris Ofili himself, I believe, is of African descent, so because of that context, they believe that it is okay and it is appropriate for them to continue with this piece of work. And lastly, they also use expressive theories to make another argument that Ofili himself has the right to interpret the Christian religion because he was raised as a Christian himself. So because of expressive theories and contextual theories, it allowed this artwork to continue to display in the Brooklyn Museum. Now that's the end of chapter 5. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys at chapter 6 and chapter 7.